Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now, let's jump straight into the TA. So taking a look at Solana on the weekly chart, I want to set up a bull market target here for us. So $600 is going to be our target. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get there or we're not going to go higher. I'm basing this off of the Fibonacci retracement. So we have our bear market bottom, presumably right now, printed in December. And we have our swing high or our all-time high printed in November of 2021 at $250 roughly. So if we manage to break above this level, then our minimal target to the upside is going to be $600. So taking a look at Solana on the market cap, the current market cap is $8.6 billion. The price is 22.5. So that's roughly a 30x from where we are right now. And I don't know if we're going to be able even to do that, to be honest with you. A 30x from here with a 240 billion market cap. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that high. And if not, then you can obviously target the previous all-time high and you can take a look at some other levels. What you can do is you can potentially drag the fib a bit lower and maybe target a different, oh, sorry about that, and maybe target a different high just to have a more conservative target. For example, $402 here, which would be the 1.414, but you know, to each their own. If you really believe in the project and you like it that much and you are thinking of, you know, selling at $600, $700, $900, then of course this doesn't matter to you. But I'm just relaying to you what I see from the charts and based off of the market cap and based off of how the project has been handling itself and all the network shutdowns that they've had and everything like that. So not a very decentralized project to say the least, but regardless. Let's jump into the daily chart for Solana. Now, as you can see, we did have a nice bounce from the blue support block, which is set up between $11.20 all the way down to $12.06. We had that nice dip into it. And from there, we started pumping to the upside, of course. And as you can see, we also broke above this blue resistance trend line that we've back tested as support twice now. As you can see previously, you had major back tests of resistance from this very trend line all the way back in March last year, in November last year, and now we broke above and we're holding it as support, which is great to see. So as you can see, we broke above here, back test of support, another back test of support. Another major resistance trend line is the yellow resistance diagonal trend line. So we've had multiple bounces off of it as well. So one was back in August last year, in November last year, and in February this year, so last month. So what we want to do now is we want to break above, potentially get to $33.37, and then come back down with a back test of support. Of course, tomorrow is going to be the FOMC meeting. We're going to get our answer as to whether the Fed is going to be increasing the interest rates or pausing, or even cutting, because some people think that that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're either going to pause or go for another 25 basis points just to make it seem like, they're fighting inflation, because right now the interest rates are sitting at 4.75%. So they could just pump it up to 5% just to have that nice round number and then start cutting the interest rates closer to the end of this year or at the start of 2024. But obviously, we don't know what the Fed is going to be doing. But depending on what they say tomorrow, we could see either a pump or a move to the downside if Jerome Powell lets us down and the markets kind of expect too much and then we don't get what we expected. The expectations are too high, for example, and then we are definitely going to see a drop in that case. A 50 basis points hike is probably out of the question at this point. So yeah, that's what we have right now. Solana has seen a nice pump since December. So $8 pumped up 240%. So a nice pump here. Obviously, if you're looking to buy a long term, I think $20, $22 is still a good averaging in position. Personally, I'm not buying into Solana. I just feel like other projects have more potential. And if you are going to see a pullback, keep in mind this blue support block that we have retested multiple times over and over again. So this is something that you can draw on your chart. And this is based off of this trading range that we had in 2021. So we printed this local high in February, and then we printed this local low in March. And this was sort of your resistance and support creation. And then you dropped or broke to the upside, and you never sort of came back to back test this area as support. You pumped, obviously, and now you're coming back down. You back tested this as support. You did that once again here in March, and now you're good for continuation. So in that case, if we start breaking to the upside, of course, you have 33.4, you have 51.77, you have 70.50 or $70.50. Those are your short to mid-term targets if we see a nice pump, because Bitcoin has pumped quite a lot, and usually altcoins follow after that because people are going to be taking their money out of Bitcoin and sending that straight into their altcoins, and that's why they are going to be pumping. Taking a look at the daily chart here, so we broke down from this channel down pattern. As you can see, we had this wide support trend line retested multiple times, so this is something that we can still be targeting. As you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 retests in the past year, more than a year actually, and we almost got there in March this year. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So maybe if we see a pullback, we get back down there. So just draw this out just in case you see the RSI, hovering around this level. Just know that that's a great buying opportunity, because every single time we were there, we had a very strong move to the upside. Look at this. Well, almost every single time. Here we had a bit of a smaller move from November into December, but still in December we had the same bounce, and look at that, getting overbought pretty quickly. So keep an eye on this as well. But overall, if you're looking long term, I would say dollar cost average right now, and potentially if we drop, buy more. Never buy all in though. Now let's switch over to the Binance weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, guys, I quickly want to give a shout out to everyone who has joined my Patreon. Thank you very much. And if you want to become a part of the Patreon and, get access to a lot of exclusive content, such as podcast episodes for patrons only, my trade alerts, my entire portfolio. I share everything that I buy and everything that I sell. If you want to leave some requests, we can take a look at your projects on Patreon. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. I try to do daily updates and daily posts in there. So if you want to try it out for free, you can do that as well. There's a 7-day free trial, so you can do that and let me know what you think. Let's get on with the video. Okay, quickly moving over to the weekly chart here. As you can see, we broke above the blue resistance trend line. We came back down for a back test of support. We are below the 20 EMA, which is quite negative. We're trying to break above that. If we fail to do so, obviously the 10 EMA below is our major support level right now. And as you can see, we are in between those two. So we are sort of consolidating in between right now throughout this week. And if we get that bullish cross where the 10 EMA crosses above the 20, that's going to be a very nice sign on the weekly chart. And immediately your next resistance level is the 55 EMA, which it currently sits at $39.32. So that's something that you can target. And also you can target this as well. As you can see, this was a local low that we printed at $30 and this local high that we printed at $45 back in August. So this is something that could happen. So be on the lookout for that as well. Taking a look at the weekly RSI, this was a very good buying opportunity here. As you can see, we dropped into the oversold twice, once in November, once in December. Major buying opportunity. So if you manage to buy in these areas, obviously, we saw a nice pump afterwards. So this was a nice buying opportunity. I don't know if we're going to be able to go, to these levels once again. If we do, that's good. That's a good buying opportunity. We're getting very good volume for Solana on the weekly chart. This is looking really strong, and I would expect Solana to at least come back up to the 55 EMA, getting closer to June. I would say 55 EMA could be retested. Once again, all depends on what the Fed says tomorrow. If they say we're increasing the interest rates by 50 basis points, which practically is impossible, then we're going to see a dump. So you can see how all these factors could play into this and affect the price in different ways. So make sure you keep an eye on the Fed, make sure you keep an eye on the interest rates, on what's going on with the banking system, because all of this is at the end of the day going to be affecting the crypto ecosystem as well, and you want to be aware of that because you want to be prepared for any potential dips or any potential moves to the upside. And that is pretty much everything I have for you guys. Feel free to let me know if I missed out anything important on the charts. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something useful. I'm going to see you in the next update. Goodbye.